This is the research proposal video presented by Alyssa Friend, Haley Hamilton, and Monica Klein. This video will highlight and explain the key areas of the research journey we envision. It will cover the problem we see in classrooms, the literature and theory that may support and drive our wonderings, the context of the research, as well as the method strategies we plan to utilize. We include possible findings and limitations as we prepare for possible outcomes.
It was a typical day in room 37. The sixth grade students filed into class and found their assigned seats. The teacher explained that the assignment was to complete their ELA workbook page with their groups. Mid-explanation of instructions, audible groans, and students blurting out, "Do I have to?" and "I don't like working with so-and-so." Students began to vocally complain about working with their assigned groups. Several students asked if they could just do the assignment alone. The teacher took this disruption as an opportunity to redirect and have a brief discussion about how some of the students' reactions to working together can hurt others' feelings. Situations like this are, unfortunately, not uncommon in classrooms across the nation. In the United States, every year over 1.2 million high school students drop out. Collaboration fosters joy and creativity. When students feel they belong to the group or class community, they are less likely to drop out of school. At times, teachers battle their students to collaborate and work together in a positive way. We feel that it is important to use morning meetings to strengthen classroom community, inclusion, understanding, and problem solving. Common Core state standards include collaboration as a standard in every grade from K through 12. Collaboration skillfulness is an imperative factor for individuals far beyond graduation. It is also a crucial proficiency for all members of society to be more inclusive and understanding of others, which is necessary for democracy. As teachers, we are educating future generations that will inevitably solve complex problems like global climate change, food shortages, and more. Our current political climate demands that changes be made to individuals to rise above the rapidly wavering social perspectives. For our students to be successful in the future, they need to be able to communicate, collaborate, and truly understand their communities around them. Our group discovered we experienced similar situations throughout our personal years in primary, secondary school, and college. We are witnesses to this problem in our own classroom. This is why we find it essential to focus on what we can do as teachers to strengthen our classroom community to improve collaboration. More specifically, what can we notice about student collaboration during ELA when we utilize morning meetings?
Collaboration is a skill that must be taught, just as one must be taught how to add and subtract. Before skills such as collaboration can be addressed, a positive learning environment needs to be implemented. Positive learning environments are influenced by care ethics, positive experiences, cultivated community, and teacher and student expectations. A morning meeting is an activity that can help foster a positive learning environment in the classroom. Morning meetings can be used as a time to hone in on specific skills like collaboration. There are many factors that influence student collaboration. The first section of our literature review will focus on positive learning environment. Literature that we have found to support this discuss how experiences in the classroom matter and influence learning, tools for creating a respectful, caring learning community, care ethics in the classroom, and when teachers have high expectations, students rise up to meet those expectations. The second section will focus on morning meetings. For morning meetings, teachers should have an understanding of the students' funds of knowledge and the importance of routine and consistency. Literature points to morning meetings having a positive influence on classroom community and SEL learned skills. Our third section of the literature review will focus on the factors that influence student collaboration. Literature points to a positive influence on student collaboration when dialogue, open-ended, meaningful questions, multiple methods of engagement, and fostering progressive discourse are engaged within a classroom.
Our research will be done in East San Jose, California in a K-8 school. It is a public charter with 70% plus students on free or reduced lunches. It is a dual immersion option for K-5, and it is a STEM school. It is a departmentalized 6th grade class with core subjects of English Language Arts and Social Studies. There are 2 classes of 25 students. We will focus our study on the homeroom class. In doing this research, we must take into account the positionality that we hold as researchers. We are all perceived as Caucasian or white, an ethnicity of privilege. We will be in positions of authority over students as teachers and as researchers. These positions of authority can be intimidating to students. We may be perceived as younger than other professionals on the school campus. Our age can be perceived as inexperienced or uninformed. Alyssa Friend will be the primary data collector, as we will be studying her 6th grade class. Monica Klein and Haley Hamilton will be assisting Miss Friend in determining modes of collection, gathering data, and analyzing the collected data. Miss Friend is our focus subject because as the ELA teacher, she will have the most perspective on students' assets and needs. Students are also focus subjects, but they will complete surveys and not be interviewed by researching, allowing a more ambiguous and authentic response. The data sources will consist of student surveys, student self-reflections, teacher interview, and teacher observations of students during ELA collaboration. The first set of data will begin with students completing an online survey on Google Forms. The initial survey will ask students for their honest opinions of classroom environment, community, and how they feel about working with peers. Our rationale behind the student survey is to acquire a better perspective on students' point of view of the learning environment. The rationale behind student self-reflection is to grasp a better understanding of what students think about their own collaboration skills. We will also be conducting a teacher interview where Miss Klein and Miss Hamilton will interview Miss Friend. The teacher interview will consist of questions about her experiences with her students' collaboration. The rationale behind the teacher interview is to get perspective of how Miss Friend views problematic areas in classroom collaboration and what challenges she foresees.
The data sources we will be using are student survey, student self-reflection, teacher interviews, and teacher observations of students during ELA collaboration. The student survey will reflect students' point of view on classroom environment, community, and working with peers. We will collect student surveys through Google Forms. Our rationale for collecting student surveys is to acquire better perspective on students' point of view of their learning environment. The student self-reflections will reflect students' opinions of their own collaboration skills. We will collect self-reflections through handwritten responses. Our rationale for student self-reflections is to grasp better understanding of what students think of their own collaboration skills. The teacher interviews will reflect the teacher's experiences with negative effects of students' collaboration and her perspectives of positive influences. We will conduct face-to-face interviews with Alyssa and ask her a series of questions. Our rationale for the teacher interview is to better understand what the teacher sees as problem areas and what she notices about student collaboration during ELA when morning meetings are utilized. The teacher observation of students during ELA will reflect student collaboration during the data collection period. The teacher will record the observations during ELA group work. Our rationale for teacher observation data is to gather insight into what is noticed about student collaboration during ELA.
For data analysis, we will be using the following code names. Codename feelings and emotions. Feelings and emotions towards working with others. Codename positive. Positive attitudes towards working with others. Codename negative. Negative attitude towards working with others. Codename indifferent. Indifferent attitudes towards working with others. Codename evidence. Evidence or reasons to support a particular view. I feel this because. Codename listening and responding. Components of collaboration.
There could be various findings as a result in what we notice in our research. Potential findings could be that morning meetings will help foster collaboration in core subject area. We may also find that morning meetings can be an effective tool to utilize for middle school age students. Another finding could be an improved teacher-student relationship, which would influence a more positive and more inclusive classroom environment. Students' relationships with peers may also be more positively influenced.
The possible implications of our project are: if morning meetings do cultivate stronger classroom community and peer-to-peer relations, then practices should be implemented into ELA teaching strategies. Strong classroom communities help facilitate collaboration in core subjects. Morning meetings can be used as an SEL tool to foster meaningful collaboration in core subjects.
Finally, we will discuss some of the limitations of our project. It may be difficult to get students to engage in authentic collaboration because of the short time frame to collect data. Another limitation could be the short time frame given to allow students to build authentic trust between students. Finally, morning meetings may not be a substantial activity for creating an inclusive community.